Well, we've come to the Edradour, the smallest distillery in Scotland. It's near Pitlochry, or in Pitlochry. And when you come round, quite a scenic place actually. So these are the little buildings. That's where you can get the tour from. You stand outside. It's up there. Main place where they make the whiskey is there. We're going on tour in about 10 minutes and you can see the site.
The main difference in peat though is between the peat from the island of Islay and mainland Scotland peat. The Islay peat has a very high seaweed content and this gives it a very oily texture. Highland Scotland peat, the main constituent is pine from the old Caledonian pine forest, and it's a much lighter type of peat. When peat burns, it doesn't give out a lot of flame, it gives out heat and it gives out smoke. The oilier the peat, the smokier the atmosphere it creates. And the barley not only dries, it absorbs smoke. The more smoke there is, the more the barley will absorb smoke. The Highland malt, because it's a much lighter type of peat, in general would produce a lighter type of malt. So at the end of the drying process we have dried malted barley. I'll take the story from there when we go inside. Over here we've got the cooling worms. This is where the alcohol vapour is cooled at the end of the distilling process. The cooling water comes from the reservoir at the top of the hill there, and the water we use to make the spirit is spring water. It comes from a spring up in Nolan Moor and is piped down to the distillery. And it comes through that pipe just at the back there. Double distillation process. At the end of the first distillation the alcohol is about 20% pure. End of the second distillation 70% pure. 70% alcohol vapour is highly inflammable, so that's why the condensers here to get the cooling process started quickly before it goes down to the cooling works.
Going into the malt store now.
So this is the dried malted barley. In the morning the staff start not at 5 o'clock as it says in the video, but at about 7 o'clock. And they take one of these big bags of barley, normally 1100 kilograms, and it goes into the hopper at the far end there. And that's what we're going to extract. So through the mill, down into the mash tun down below, and we add 2 lots of 3000 litres of hot water. The first at about 67 centigrade, the second about 81 centigrade. Each time it's mixed and the sugars dissolve into the hot water. What remains, the barley husk, the draff, is offloaded onto a trailer and the local farmer collects it, takes it away and uses it as cattle feed. And that's the situation we're pretty well just past now. On to the Morton's refrigerator, dates from 1934 and it's the last of its kind in the whisky industry. It works very similar to a car radiator. Hot sugary liquid comes in on the right hand side, cold liquid out on the left hand side, and cooling water through pipes in between. Basically that's how you make whisky. Barley, water, that's all. That's all. That's it. Simple process. But any spirit is made in basically the same way. Whether it's whisky, brandy, gin, rum, whatever. They're all made in basically the same way. So what we'll do now, we'll go across the shop and I'll show you some of the different finishes. So that's a 10-year-old Edradour you tasted, 10 years in a sherry cask and the cream liqueur. Up here, heavily peated malt made in the stills here. This one matured for 5 years in a Madeira cask, this one's in a port cask, this one in an Oloroso sherry cask. Port cask, look at the colour. Very red, 5 years in a port cask. It's such an amazing whisky. I've had a bottle of it, very pleasant. I'm looking forward to see what it's like in 5 years' time. I think it will be quite stunning. My favourite Edradour whisky is what's called unchill filtered whisky. This is the way whisky used to be before the Americans decided to pour it over ice and call it Scotch in the rocks. If you pour this one over ice, it goes very milky, a bit like Pernod or Pastis or Ouzo if you pour it over ice. It's full-bodied, full flavour. It's not been cooled and filtered before it's been bottled. So for me, it's an after-dinner or evening drink. And if I'm drinking this, I tend to use a brandy glass so that I can warm it in my hand, get the smell of it and drink it slowly. It's a beautiful after-dinner whisky. About 57% alcohol. It's very strong, not recommended with toast for breakfast. It's about 114 US proof. For me, I need a drop of water in it just to open it out a little bit. It's a wee bit fine. The longer the whisky spends in the cask, the more mellow it becomes. Also, the more the loss is, so the more the price rises. These ones up the top, all matured for 10 years in American bourbon casks, and then afterwards they go into these different types of cask, and it gives them all subtly different colours and flavours. This one spends about 18 months in a Madeira cask, this one about 9 months in a port cask. Around the rest of the wall, some of the other bottlings from Signatory Vintage, the company that owns Edradour, and along the bottom shelves down there, there's jams, marmalades, mustards, honey, chocolate, caramel, etc. All these may still be available down at the tasting bar at the back of the reception area, but I don't know, it might be closed by now because this is the last tour of the day. So, thank you all for coming to Edradour. I hope you've enjoyed your visit. I hope you've learned something about whisky. If anyone's got any questions, I'll happily answer them. Otherwise, enjoy the rest of your holiday.
It's a full without water.
A full of water, full of flavours.